Now it's recording.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, good evening. We are going to talk about Singapore and English in Singapore. We can move on to the next one. Okay, so this is the map of Singapore. She is situated, if you can see, Singapore is a little island at the east of Asia. No, near the blue, the bottom of the blue part.
Right here,
Yeah,
right.
right there. And you can see, we can see it in a larger scale, that Singapore is a little island with a little island that is a little island that also belongs to Singapore, and its main city is also named Singapore. So it's in the south of Malaysia, that is the next to it. Okay, so this presentation going to include a few topics: the facts about the number of speakers, where is Singapore on the grid, and so on. History of Singapore, how English become a main important language in Singapore, and then and now what's the connection with the motherland and everything else, and the language itself, the pronunciation, phonological, grammatical, and such on. And in the end, we have an activity for you.
Okay.
So, introduction. So, Singapore is situated at the crossroads of Asia, a small island city-state in Southeast Asia, known for its vibrant culture, stunning architecture, and impressive economic growth, lays of Singapore's. A melting pot of cultures, languages, and religions, making it a unique and fascinating country. Okay, facts. Okay, let's hear about the number of speakers, where the country appears on the grid, and the status of English. Okay, so if English is in the inner circle of on the grid, so Singapore is in the outer scale on the Singapore. English is one of the we hear that English is one of the official languages, and it's spoken by most of the population. So the all population of Singapore is about 6 million people, dated to 2023, and English is one of the official languages of Singapore, along with Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil. The country has bilingual policy, which means that English is used as the main language for instruction in schools, while the other official languages are taught as second languages. English is also used as the language of business, government, and media in Singapore. In Singapore, almost 50% of the population are native speakers of English, native speakers, and 30%, about 30% are native speakers. Their mother tongue, the first tongue is Mandarin. 9% are Chinese dialects, and the percentage goes on. Among those, just a minute, go back to
sorry.
this. Among those who speak our native speakers of English, most of them have second language as Mandarin. Lesser than that are Malay, Chinese, and other languages. Now we can move on.
Now the history. We'll speak about the history of how English came to be such an important language in this culture. So the history of English in Singapore dates back to the colonial era. When Singapore was under British rule, English was introduced as the language of administration, trade, and education. In 1819, Sir Stamford Raffles established Singapore as a British trading post, and English quickly became the dominant language of commerce and governance. During the colonial period, English was the language used by the British to communicate with the local population, as well as with other communities in the region. This gave English a high status and made it the social language of prestige and upward social mobility. After Singapore gained its independence in 1965, the government continued to promote the use of English as the main language of instruction, and it was in schools and as medium of communication. The government also encouraged the learning of other languages as well, such as Mandarin and Malay, but English remained the language of business, politics, and education. In addition, the use of English was further cemented in Singaporean culture by the growth of the global economy and the increasing importance of the English language in an international communication. So Singapore's strategic location and its status as a regional hub for business and trade have also contributed to the widespread use of English in the country. Today, English is one of Singapore's official languages, along with Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil, and it is widely spoken and used in everyday life, and Singaporeans are generally highly proficient in the language. So English has become an integral part of Singaporean culture, and it is likely to remain an important language in the country's future.
Okay, then and now.
Yes.
Then and
Go
now.
ahead.
Okay, so the first native languages of Singapore are Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil, and other minority languages such as Hoikan, Cantonese, and Teochew. These languages are collectively known as the mother tongue languages of Singapore and are taught in school alongside English. Malay is considered the national languages of Singapore and is one of the 4 official languages of the country, along with English, Mandarin, and Tamil. However, English is the most used language for business, education, and government, as we said before, in Singapore, and is widely spoken by Singaporeans. Example, Singlish is example of the native tongues of Singapore. Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil are being integrated into English in use in Singapore. This is known as Singlish, which is a colloquial form of English that incorporates elements of the local languages and dialects. Singlish is, just a minute, I need to Singlish is a unique form of English that has evolved over time in Singapore, and it's characterized by the use of unique vocabulary, grammar, structure, and intonation patterns. For example, Singlish uses grammar structures that are unique to Singapore, such as the dropping of articles like I go market, and the use of can to mean yes or okay. Can la, no problem. Some examples of Singlish include the use of Malay and Hokkien words such as la and makan and shiok, which are used to express, emphasize agreement and enjoyment. While Singlish is not considered to be a formal or standard form of English, it is widely spoken and understood in Singapore and is an important part of the local culture and identity. Singapore has historical and cultural links to the motherland, which refer to the United Kingdom as it was former British colony. While Singapore is no longer part of the British Empire or a member of the Commonwealth, it still maintains close ties with the United Kingdom through trade, education, and cultural exchange. In terms of trade, the United Kingdom is one of Singapore's top trading partners, and the two countries have strong economic relationships. The United Kingdom is also a popular destination for Singaporean students studying abroad, and there are many cultural exchange programs between the two countries. As for the influence of Anglia culture in Singapore, it can be seen in various aspects of Singaporean society, including food, culture, and behavior. For example, Singaporean cuisine has been heavily influenced by the British, Chinese, Malay, and Indian cuisines, resulting in unique fusion of flavor and cooking styles. Singapore also celebrates British cultural events such as Christmas and the Queen's birthday, and many Singaporeans also wear traditional British attire such as suits and ties in formal settings. Also, sports such as cricket, soccer, and rugby, which were introduced by the British, continues to be popular in Singapore today. And of course, the English language, which continue to be widely spoken and used in Singaporean today society. In terms of custom and tradition, Singapore has developed its own unique cultural identity, influenced by various ethnic groups and historical events. While there are still some remnants of British culture and traditions, such as the use of English in certain cultural practices, Singapore has largely developed its own distinct culture and customs over the years. Overall, while Singapore has strong historical and cultural links to the United Kingdom, it has developed its own unique identity, even improved it, and cultural traditions over time, influenced by various...
Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
Influenced by various ethnic groups and historical events. Your turn.
Now we're going to speak about the language, basically of the history of how English came to be such an important language in this culture. Okay, so we have the lexical and pronunciation. Okay, so we have words in English here. We have a list of words, and then we have the meaning in English. So we'll go one by one. Okay, so we have la in English.
La. Okay, la. La. La.
And in Hebrew, I was going to say in Hebrew or Arabic, but no, in English, it would mean to emphasize to a sentence or to indicate a sense of urgency. For example, don't worry about it, la. Or,
Io.
Io, yeah, it's like sounding like a horse. Io, expressing dismay, exasperation, or surprise. For example, Io, why is it taking the bus so long to arrive? Or Io, I forgot my keys. Or Io, you scared me. Then we have the word can. Can would mean really to express agreement or to ask for permission. For example, can I borrow your pen? Or can la? No problem. Chop, used to reserve a seat or a place. So for example, can you chop a seat for me? Or chiok, to express enjoyment or pleasure. For example, the food at that hawker center was chiok. Or this plate of chicken rice, damn chiok. And then we have another word, siao, to describe someone who is crazy or behaving in a crazy manner. For example, siao, how did you manage to eat 5 burgers in one go?
Did that good.
I know, I'm trying, right? I feel like I'm the Karate Kid. Okay, phonological or pronunciation variations. So, Singlish often features a distinctive la sound, which is added to the end of words. Okay, so basically it adds emphasis or creates a more casual tone. For example, okay la, good la, let's go la. Singlish speakers often shorten words also by dropping their final consonants. So for example, can becomes cat, and cannot becomes cat not, and Singapore becomes Singapore. Also, Singlish speakers often pronounce the or the sounds as d or t, which can lead to words like 3 sounding like tree and thing sounding like ting. Singlish also features a distinctive annotation pattern, which involves rising annotation at the end of statements to indicate a question-like quality. So this can lead to statements like, you want to go there? Or it's a nice day today, like raising your tone. Singlish often blends words from different languages as well, resulting in a unique pronunciation. So for example, kiasu, which means it comes from the Hokkien Chinese language, combines the two Chinese words of fear and losing. And this means to be afraid and to lose. Another example is chop chop, which comes from the Malay language, and it means hurry up. Singlish also features a distinctive annotation pattern, which involves rising annotation at the end of statements to indicate question-like quality. So this can lead to statements like, you want to go there? Or it's a nice day today. We're basically repeating here what we just said before, but this is just to emphasize, we're emphasizing basically the idea of the sounds, the tones. Okay, so now we have here a short video of basically, showing how people actually speak using
How does it sound?
of the sounds. Yeah. So I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. If I stop sharing, it's gonna stop my recording. No, no.
No, sorry, just the sharing.
I really hope not. Okay.
No. You still see the
recording sign. I see it too. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So wait 1 second. No, wow. I'm like, you don't understand. Hang on a second. Okay, let me just first go into it. 1 second. And I'm gonna go back to the Zoom. Share screen. Where is it? Where's the commercial? 1 second. Hang on, I'm gonna go back again.
Don't forget to do share sound.
Yeah, I will. I just want to open up the commercial again. Here it is. It's right here. 1 second. Oh,
I have all the time in the world. No worry.
you have all the time in the world?
All the time. I don't have work tomorrow. I don't have to do anything tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I believe you. Sure. 1
Yeah.
second. Share sound. Okay, could you
Right.
see my screen? Yes?
Yeah, I can see it.
Very good.
I think it was you who did it.
You then lah.
Take a look at yourself before pointing fingers.
Say people, say yourself.
Excuse me, teacher, I have a question.
Ch.
So, are there any updates?
So how?
Where are we going to eat?
Eat where?
Where are we going?
Go where?
So, when is this event taking place?
When ah?
Excuse me, may I pass through?
Hey, hello.
Yes, I agree with you.
Ya lah then.
Yes, that's right.
Ya lah then.
Please don't do that.
Hey, don't leh.
Yes, that will do just fine.
Can lah.
Are you sure?
Really meh?
I don't have a preference.
Anything lor.
You're gonna regret doing that again.
Hey, last warning ho.
He's making us look so bad.
Wow, spoil market sia.
Rest assured, I'm willing to bet my life on it.
Guarantee plus chop. If not, I chop.
Why do you keep repeating your mistakes?
Why you always like that one?
I'm not sure.
Don't know leh.
Oh, you don't say.
You say leh?
That depends, but I'll think about it.
Done?
See first lah.
That
is enough.
depends, but
That's the idea.
probably not.
Okay, so
See how lah.
this is basically enough of watching the recording, but it should give you guys an idea of what we meant. Now we're going to go back to our presentation. Okay, so after we watch the video, now we're going to continue. What?
Yeah.
Next. Okay, so now we have the grammatical syntactical variations. Okay, so basically Singlish is, 1 second, is also known for its distinctive grammatical and syntactical variations, which often result from the influence of other languages and dialects often, spoken in Singapore. So lack of subject-verb agreement. In Singlish, it's common to omit subject-verb agreement, especially in informal settings. For example, yesterday he went to the market would become yesterday you go to the market in Singlish. Double negatives. In Singlish, double negatives are often used for emphasis or to indicate the opposite of what is being said. For example, cannot see nothing means I can see something. Use of la and lor. Those participles are often also used to indicate emphasis, certainty, or casualness. For example, come la, don't be shy, or I don't know, lor. Second.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have the word order. So in Singlish, they follow a different word order than in standard English. So for example, instead of saying, I will buy it tomorrow, one might say, tomorrow I buy it now. Use of loan words. Singlish often also incorporates loan words from other languages, resulting in phrases like shioka, meaning this is great, or kiasu, meaning afraid to lose or fear of losing out. Reduplication. Singlish often uses reduplication to indicate intensity or repetition. For example, he is so big means he is very big. Now we have the spelling variations. So Singlish, being a colloquial form of English, often incorporates spelling variations that reflect the pronunciation and colloquial use of the language in Singapore. So here are some examples that we have here. Dropping of final consonants. In Singlish, final consonants are often dropped, leading to spellings like si instead of si, like si instead of sit, and flo instead of floor. They drop the last letters. Also, use of numbers for words. In text messages and online communication, Singlish often uses numbers to represent words. For example, the number 2 be used instead of writing T-O or T-O-O for 2 or 2. And 4 would be used instead of writing 4 or 4, the number 4 or 4. Also, use of abbreviations and acronyms. Singlish often uses abbreviations and acronyms to save time and effort in communication. So, for example, BFF would be best friend forever. It's an acronym. And OMG would be, oh my God. Let's see. And we have use of loanwords too, as we mentioned before. So Singlish also incorporates loanwords from other languages, such as Angmo, which is basically a term used to refer to Caucasians. This is from different language, which comes from the Hokkien Chinese language. Also, use of Singlish specific words. Singlish has developed a unique lexicon of words that reflect the cultural context of Singapore, including chop, which means to reserve a book, or kiasu, meaning afraid to lose or fear of losing out, and la, a participle used for emphasis or to create a more casual tone. I'm sorry that I'm rushing. And we have an activity. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna stop share a second, and we're gonna
share again. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna share again. So 1 second. Let's go first and open up the activity beforehand. Okay. And let me go back to my screen share. Share. Okay.
Oh, it's so late.
So I know you're very tired. Here we go. Okay, so you can see it, right? You can see the screen, enough?
Yeah, I can see it.
Very good. Okay. So we're gonna start the game really quickly. We'll do 3 questions and you guys can do the rest. The first question says, what does the word more in Singlish mean? To indicate agreement or certainty, to add emphasis to a sentence or indicate urgency, to describe someone who is crazy or behaving in a crazy manner, or to reserve a seat or upgrade. So, what do you think? 2? Yes. No? Again, it was the first one. Okay, wait. Okay. Let's do the next question. What does the word laugh in Singlish mean? To express enjoyment or pleasure, to reserve a seat or a place, to add emphasis to a sentence or indicate urgency, or to express dismay, exasperation, or surprise. What does it mean? I say laugh would mean to add emphasis. Hey, okay. We have to remember these things. What was the language of administration, trade, and education introduced during the British colonial period? So English, Malay, Tamil, or Mandarin? What? English? Yay! You want to do one more? The last one. That's it. Okay. So what is a common characteristic of Singlish intonation pattern? Use of rising intonation at the end of statements to indicate a question-like quality, falling intonation at the end of a statement, or use of neutral intonation throughout statements. Yay! Okay, so that's basically
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it for today.
Okay, and thank you for watching, everybody.
And participating. I hope you enjoyed.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Now I'm stopping the recording and it's gonna save it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I hope so, yes.
Enough.
Stop recording.